urged the judiciary to brace up and purge itself of bad eggs ahead of the 2015 elections.
Our judges must remain impartial arbiters at all times, resist the pressures often associated with fierce competition in the political space and the temptation to pander to the whims and caprices of political gladiators that bestrows the political landscape.
Also, a point of note was the conflicting decisions of the appellate courts, which the judiciary has dealt with in the past few years, causing disquiet in the polity. This and other similar matters are what these judges are set to discuss for a very old third arm of government.
Still to come on News Track, a look at an alternative solution to curbing terrorism aside from military action.
And in politics, women in Osun State want the governor to run for a second term.
We'll be right back.
If you want to know what's trending or you miss your favorite live shows, you can watch it all on our YouTube channel. Simply log on to www.youtube.com/channelsweb, scroll down to your favorite program and click play. You can also view all uploaded videos by clicking on View All. Don't forget to subscribe and get the latest videos. If they are interesting, like them and be heard. Get connected with the channel's television YouTube page. The news at your fingertips.
Welcome back. Read up more on our top stories on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. But to get us on the move, then visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores.
And now you can interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. If you have a picture or video to share with us, all you need to do is download the Channels TV Android application on your device. Swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share your report, pictures and videos. Well, we already have some people responding already, and to some reports and pictures sent in by our Eyewitness reporters from Akute in Ogun State. Dominic tells the story of sorrow, tears and loss following the demolition of houses on the right-of-way as construction works begin on the Songota-Akute 6-lane road. Well, from Ogun to Rivers State, probably a part of the 2012 Batch A, B and C core members, Ebere is appealing to the Rivers State government to pay their outstanding allowances. And back here in Lagos, Bukola is reporting on the deplorable state of Disu and Fayame streets in Ejigbo, a suburb of Lagos. According to her, the contractor who was awarded the Disu Street project has only made the road worse, while the contractor handling the Fayame Street project is yet to report to site. Now, last week, Itoro sent in a picture of a flooded road in Eket, Akwa Ibom State. This week, Felix sent in the picture of the flooded Stadium Road after a heavy rainfall. Felix believes the road is flooded because of dysfunctional drainage channels in Eket. Well, is this a hangar? Ugwoke has described it as a roadside plane repair terminal. He sent in this picture from Abuja, less than a kilometer from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. Now, whether it's a repair terminal or junkyard, Ugwoke is appealing to the relevant authorities to do something about it. Well, you can also send us pictures or videos of the interesting sites around your area by swiping on the TV Android application on your device to reveal the Eyewitness menu. Follow the instructions to share that report, pictures or videos.
Now, the military operations alone cannot curb terrorism unless it is accompanied by a robust public diplomacy aimed at defeating the ideology of hate by militants. That's according to the National Security Advisor, Colonel Dasuki Sambo, who says communication is essential to counter terrorism strategies by the government. He said this at a workshop on strategic communication in tackling terrorism in Abuja.
For the past 2 years, Nigeria has used its military might and other security forces to fight insurgency. However, the consensus of this gathering is that even when military operations have achieved some results, the use of force is not enough to stamp out terrorism from Nigeria.
Nigeria realizes that military action on its own will not counter terror if not accompanied by a robust public diplomacy aimed at defeating the ideology of hate and building consensus against violent extremism. That is why strategic communication is an essential part of our counter-terrorism operations. Nigeria will continuously update its strategic communication needs to reflect current challenges occasioned by terrorism.
Strategic communication as a subject entails all efforts to create, strengthen, and preserve conditions favorable for the advancement of national interests, policies, and objectives by understanding and engaging key audiences through the use of coordinated programs, plans, teams, messages, and products synchronized with the actions of all instruments of national power.
Partnering with Nigeria in the new strategic communication initiative are the United States and the United Kingdom, and they say the idea is not to preach to Nigerians, but to use their experiences to put in place a better strategy for the country.
It is not easy to win the narrative. It is not easy to garner the support of the local population. I hope by using examples of where we, the British Army, have got it wrong, that we will give you some ideas of how to use this key skill against your own insurgency.
It is the view of many that Nigeria has to keep evolving strategies to combine with its military power if it is to really win the war against terrorism. Amaka Okafu, Channels Television News.
More on security and defense now. The Nigerian Navy has called for the enforcement of prosecution against maritime offenders who have been arrested. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Dele Ezeoba, believes this is one way to deter other intending offenders. The naval boss said this at the Eastern Naval Command in Calabar, the capital of Cross River State, while commissioning some facilities under the formation. He added that the Navy, like other parts of the armed forces, is trying hard to meet the challenge of adequate provision of work tools.
One of the prominent, which of course to a large extent determines the efficacy of what we do, is that of adequate platform. We're doing what we can to add value in that regard. But as we speak, because of the maritime space, which is very huge, to police it require a lot of platforms in the right mix, which means helicopters, inshore patrol crafts, seaward defense boats, OPVs, offshore patrol vessels, and of course human capacity, and above all things technology that will provide us with the requisite surveillance capacity, and of course response initiative, and to a large extent the enforcement, which means that those who've arrested for engaging in act of illegalities are prosecuted by courts of competent jurisdiction.
Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Dele Ezeoba. Now, the endorsement for Governor Ralph Arabashala to run for a second term continues to grow. This time, women groups in Osun State trooped out in their numbers to the Freedom Square in Osogbo. They say they want the continuation of good governance in the state. The rally was designed to be a public lecture and sensitization forum to encourage women to participate in politics.
All dressed in uniform attire, the women groups comprise of Market Women Association, artisans, women professional bodies and women leaders of All Progressive Congress APC across the 31 local governments of the state. They say this rally is essentially to throw their weight behind the second-term ambition of Governor Arabashala, having given the women a voice in governance.
This administration has consistently given a voice to women. So definitely
they will want this to continue. They have never seen it this good.
With the theme Women Participation in Politics,